If you have any heart conditions or are easily startled, please be cautious while watching this video. For the best experience, we recommend using headphones in a quiet environment. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello everyone, my name is Jake, and I'm around 27 years old. I won't say which country I'm from. I just don't like having too much information about me out there. Today I want to share a memory, a story that's been haunting me for the past 4 years. To be honest, even now, I'm scared to talk about it. I don't know where to begin, or whether anyone will even believe me. Every time I think about what happened, my skin crawls. I try to erase it from my mind, but it keeps coming back. About 4 years ago, I was in a really bad financial situation. I had no support, no one to lean on. I was living in a strange city, far from my family to survive. I started working as a cleaner in a local restaurant. At first, I tried to adapt, but the way people treated me there, it was strange. The looks they gave me, like I was some kind of freak, like I didn't belong. One morning, I woke up, stood in front of the mirror, and asked myself, what so wrong with me? Why are they all so cold toward me? I made a decision right then and there. I wasn't going back to that restaurant. I was going to learn something new, take control of my life, become the man I was meant to be. But the reality was harsh. To do that, I needed a place to live, a decent income, and time to learn a new skill. I had none of those things. If I quit, my landlord would throw me out. I felt trapped, my mind overwhelmed with fear and confusion. I had no plan, no idea what to do next, so I told myself, screw it. I need to clear my head. There was a small bar about 500 meters down the street. I decided to take a walk and grab a drink, just to calm my nerves. As I walked, something about the cool air helped settle my thoughts. When I reached the bar, the warm, cozy vibe hit me right away. I sat down at a table and ordered a cold drink. It felt good, like I could breathe again. And then, as I was sipping my drink, I saw someone, a familiar face, an old friend, Mike. He walked over, grinning like nothing had changed. Mike, in a loud, cheerful voice, said, "Hey, old friend, how have you been? I can't believe this. I'm so happy to see you. What are you doing here?" When I saw Mike, I genuinely felt happy. That heavy feeling of loneliness and emptiness just vanished. We started talking about college, money, work, and then Mike made me an interesting offer. "Look, around here, there are forests as far as the eye can see, and at night, they get really dark. That's why the government's been desperate for forest rangers lately. It's an amazing job opportunity. They give you a place to live and a steady paycheck. All you have to do is live out there in the woods and keep an eye on things. Make sure no one's harming the environment or causing trouble. If we sign up in time, we might even end up being neighbors just about 1 kilometer apart. What do you think?" I thought about what Mike said. It actually sounded like a great opportunity. You live in a cabin, get paid, have tons of free time, and can finally focus on the things you love. What could be better? I told Mike this idea. "Brilliant, man. When do we sign up?" he said. "Tomorrow morning." And so we did. We went together and signed up. That same day, I loaded all my stuff onto my old pickup truck and headed toward the forest. I was on the road for about an hour. Mike had told me he was also on his way to his own cabin to get settled in. The road was beautiful, lined with trees, winding through hills and valleys. The sky was cloudy, just the way I like it. Halfway there, I saw a small roadside cafe with a gas station attached. I figured it wouldn't hurt to stop, fill up the tank, and take a short break. I gassed up, grabbed a burger. It was surprisingly delicious. Out there, the phone signal started to fade. A message from Mike, sent 27 minutes earlier, finally came through. "Hey, man, I'm just getting to my cabin. Let me know when you arrive. Don't forget to turn on your radio so we can stay in touch." It was time to get moving again. Around 7 p.m., I finally reached the ranger post that would guide me to my assigned cabin. I parked my truck. Everything was dark and eerily quiet. I knocked on the door. "Hello, anyone there? I'm here for the cabin assignment." Suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around and froze. Someone was standing there, pointing a shotgun right at me. The shock hit me like a jolt. I stumbled backward and crashed into the side of the ranger post, nearly dislocating my shoulder. I yelled, "Who the hell are you?" "You almost gave me a heart attack. What the hell is your problem?" The man laughed and said,
Easy, kid. I didn't mean any harm. Unfortunately, there are certain secrets about this forest. Things that make it necessary to be as cautious as possible. Always.
I told what kind of secrets. What is this forest, haunted or something?
Listen, kid. Just know this, the government doesn't hand out free housing and pay checks for no reason. There's something in those woods. And your job isn't just about watching for people. It's about keeping something else in check.
The man's words hit me strangely. What could possibly be out there in the forest? Why would the government pay people just to watch some trees, unless there was something more? Something they weren't telling us. I stood there, staring at him, unsure if he was serious, or just trying to mess with the new guy. But deep down, I felt that something about this job wasn't what it seemed. The man looked at me, chuckled, and said,
He was just messing with you. There's nothing out here. Relax, dude. Now get moving. You're late already. That's the key to your cabin.
We both laughed, and I took the key from him, then started heading toward the cabin. On the way, I couldn't stop thinking about what the guy said, or more importantly, how he said it. There was something off about him, like he tried too hard to play it off as a joke. As if, at the last second, he changed his mind and didn't want me to catch on to the real story. Maybe he didn't want to scare me, or maybe he wasn't allowed to say more. Either way, I finally reached the cabin. It stood on short stilts, a narrow staircase leading up to the front door. I unlocked it and stepped inside. The air was cold and stale. That's when I remembered I hadn't turned on the generator. I went back down, poured gasoline into the old thing, and cranked it up. The hum of the engine broke the silence of the forest. Next to the cabin, there was a small woodshed. I grabbed some firewood and brought it inside to light the stove. Then I turned on the radio. "Hey, Mike, this is Jake. You copy over." A moment of silence, then static. And then Mike's voice came through, slightly distorted. Hey, you finally made it, huh? Tell me, how's the cabin looking? Still standing? Or did the raccoons claim it before you got there? Not bad. I lit the stove, trying to warm the place up a bit. So, Mike, what now? What exactly am I supposed to do in this cabin? Alright, listen up. On the wall in your cabin, there should be a schedule pinned up. Yeah, that thing, you need to follow that daily. Whatever task it says, log it into the computer and mark it as complete. It sends the report directly to the department. Oh, and you'll need to monitor the weather too. There should be a barometer or some basic equipment around. Every evening submit a weather report, temperature, wind, precipitation, that sort of thing. Helps them assess forest safety conditions. If anything seems off, fog that's too thick, strange pressure drops, you flag it. Yeah, not as chill as it sounds, huh? But hey, it's still better than washing dishes at that old restaurant, right? Well, if that's all it is, sounds pretty great to me. Doesn't seem like too much work. Yeah, don't get too comfortable just yet. The first few days are usually quiet. It's later, when the silence starts getting too quiet, that's when things get interesting. It's easy work, peaceful even, but hey, have you heard about the group that roams these woods at night? They say they tie people to trees and butcher them. Real sick stuff. For a moment, I stared at the radio. Was he joking again? Or was that a warning? I turned to look around the cabin, wooden walls, dim lighting, a small desk with a dusty computer, humming faintly, the wind outside, had picked up slightly, brushing against the windows like soft whispers. I took a deep breath. My first night as a forest watchman had just begun.
Scared you, didn't I? Haha!
Micah, that joke was seriously lame and pointless. Try stepping up your game, man. Don't act like a total goof. That night, we shared a few laughs over the radio before I finally drifted off to sleep. The next morning, I woke up feeling surprisingly refreshed. I went about my daily tasks, checking the perimeter, logging data, and keeping an eye on the weather. The calm of the forest and knowing I wasn't alone out here with a friend nearby really lifted my spirits. Honestly, what could be better than this? Life in the forest really suited me. It felt like I had traveled from one world to another, a place where I could live peacefully and enjoy my time without stress. My daily tasks were simple but exciting. That morning, I woke up, organized my things, and got to work. The weather was clear and sunny. Sunlight filtered through the trees like something out of a dream, like staring into paradise. Oh, and I forgot to mention, right in front of my cabin, there was a lake. I hadn't seen it the night before, because it was so dark. Mike's cabin was probably near the same lake, since we were only about a kilometer apart. I made myself a cup of coffee. The cabin was warm from the heater I'd turned on the night before. I stepped outside. The air was a little cold, but refreshing. There was a chair by the edge of the cabin that gave a great view from above. I sat there, sipped my coffee, and took in the beautiful scenery. Honestly, I never thought I'd get to experience something like this. After finishing my coffee, I went back inside and sat at the computer to report the forest weather. But just as I was about to start typing, the radio crackled to life.
Central Patrol calling Cabin 8. This is Sergeant George Harper. Yeah, the same guy who spooked you last night with the shotgun.
For a moment, I hesitated. Then I remembered that was the same guy I met last night. His serious tone over the radio actually made me chuckle a bit, but I tried to keep my voice formal too.
Copy that. Cabin 8 is ready for duty.
Good job, kid. At least you know how to talk. There's a fire near your cabin that's burning higher than regulations allow. Get over there quickly and warn them. Now, don't forget to take your radio with you. You'll need it to stay in touch with Central and the other cabins.
Copy that. I'm on my way now.
There was a combat knife in the cabin, a radio, and even a small crate with bandages just in case. I grabbed what I needed and set out. The location was about 300 meters away. When I arrived, everything felt strangely quiet. It didn't seem like anyone was there. I stepped into the area. A rectangular campfire was still burning in the middle, surrounded by an axe and some camping gear. It gave off an eerie, old-time survivalist vibe, like the people who came here wanted to live off the land. Then I heard it, a whistle. Someone was whistling a melody, slowly, deliberately. I called out, "Hey, anyone out here?" The whistling continued. Then, running footsteps, fast. Someone took off into the trees. The shadows from the branches made it impossible to see clearly. I couldn't tell who it was, or where they went. Luckily, the fire had gone out by then, and there was nothing serious. I picked up the radio and called it in. Areas clear. No issues. Returning to cabin, I made my way back, climbed the stairs, turned on my gear, and sat down to practice my lessons. That's when Mike called over the radio.
Hey buddy, what's up? I just woke up. If you're still sleeping, get up. It's getting kinda late. Mike, I've been up for 40 minutes. Get up and report your status on the radio already. Oh damn, good thing you said that. Hold on a sec.
After a few minutes.
Jake, an unstable situation has been reported about 600 meters from my cabin. I'll radio you once I get back. Okay, Mike, be careful.
I had about 2 hours of free time, so I focused on my training, but I couldn't stop thinking about that strange incident near my cabin. Why would a group of people dressed like they're from the Stone Age build a rectangular fire and whistle a tune? Could it be some weird local tradition or ritual from the nearby villages? But I decided not to focus on it too much until sunset arrived. The radio started making static noises. I was sitting outside the cabin on the chair, thinking maybe it was Mike calling in back from his mission. but he had said he'd radio me once he returned. The real question was, where had he been all this time? And more importantly, was he okay?
Can anyone hear me? Please. I need help. I'm all alone out here and really scared. Something doesn't feel right. Please, someone help me.
I rushed to the radio. It sounded like an emergency situation.
This is Forest Ranger from Cabin 8. I can hear you, please. Try to take a deep breath and describe your location and the situation you're in.
Oh my God! Goodness, someone finally heard me. I have no idea where I am. It's so dark here and I fell down. I think I twisted my left ankle really badly.
Don't worry. Just try to stay calm and keep talking to me. I'm right here with you. You're not alone. If you see any nearby light, do your best to move toward it, slowly and carefully. I'm contacting the rescue team right now, and they'll be on their way to you soon. This is Cabin 8 calling, Central Command. We have a critical situation near Cabin 8. I repeat, a critical situation near Cabin 8. Request immediate deployment of patrol and rescue units into the forest.
Cabin 8, copy that. Rescue units are en route and will arrive at the designated location shortly. Stand by and maintain communication.
She was very scared in that situation, so I tried to talk to her calmly to help her relax and encourage her to start moving toward the light.
Ma'am, can you hear my voice? The rescue team will arrive soon, and the situation is under control. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Julia. If you're asking that just to calm me down, well, it didn't really help.
Nice to meet you, Julia. My name's Jake. Now, do you think you can make your way toward the nearest light you can see?
Yeah, I think I see a light. Looks like some kind of ranger cabin.
That's great. Since you're radio connected to mine, you might be near my cabin. I'm heading outside right now. If you can, make your way toward it too. Okay?
Okay, I'm coming. It shouldn't take long.
I was heading down the cabin steps, excited and ready to meet her, when suddenly, that same whistling sound came through the radio again. I froze. My heart skipped. I turned back and rushed up to grab the radio.
Julia, are you still there? Are you the one whistling? Is someone near you?
Jock, is that you? I see you. Hi. Why are you whistling that melody?
Can you hear me? I repeat, can you hear me?
As I stood frozen on the cabin steps, a scream tore through the forest so loud, so piercing, that if you were nearby, your ears would bleed. For a few seconds, I couldn't move. I was paralyzed by fear, but then I snapped out of it. I grabbed the radio.
Mike, where the hell are you, man? Something serious just happened near my cabin. I heard a scream. Something's wrong. Everything's getting weirder.
But no answer. I grabbed my flashlight and the army knife and ran straight into the woods, toward the scream. From far away, I could hear faint voices, maybe the rescue team, but they were too far. By the time they'd get here, it would be too late. I reached the location, maybe 300 meters from the cabin. It was dark, too dark. My flashlight was the only thing keeping the shadows at bay. Julia, can you hear me? It's Jake. I'm here, there's nothing to be scared of. Let's go back together. Hello, anyone out here? Suddenly, I heard the whistling again. That same chilling melody. I yelled into the woods. Hey, you sick freak. Come out and show yourself. You think it's funny scaring people like this? I stepped forward, and that's when I saw it hanging from a tree branch. Was the head of a girl. Her body, torn apart. Blood was everywhere. It looked like someone had attacked her with an axe. Maybe more than one person. Then, footsteps. I turned and saw them. Figures. Strange, twisted people. I can't even describe their clothes. In that darkness, they looked even darker. They were carrying a coffin, and when they saw me, they started running, straight at me. I ran. I didn't think, I just ran. Thank God I had my truck keys in my pocket. I had run in the right direction toward the cabin, then toward the trail. I knew tears filled my eyes. The fear, the sheer panic. I didn't even think about Mike anymore. And that was the scariest part. He left at noon, and by sunset, he still hadn't returned. I even called him on the radio. No response. The next part is blurry. I just remember reaching my truck, starting it, and driving. I didn't stop. I never looked back. Since that night, I haven't been the same, my mind shattered. I returned to my city. I never went back to that cursed forest, and I never found out what happened to Mike. That was my story. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I truly hope you always find strength and courage. No matter what challenges come your way, stay safe and take care.